Chosen one, pause for a moment. Not because time is running out, but because heaven is stepping in. This message isn't rushing you, it's correcting us. You didn't stumble onto this by chance. You were guided here with precision, with intent, with divine timing. If your heart feels alert right now, if something inside you leaned forward before your mind could explain it, that's not coincidence. That's recognition. We were certain, weren't we? Certain about the timing, certain about the direction, certain about what was supposed to happen next. You prayed, you prepared, you waited. And when things didn't move the way you expected, confusion crept in quietly. Doubt didn't shout, it whispered. You began investigating yourself, questioning your discernment, wondering if you misheard God or misunderstood the assignment. But chosen one, God says we were mistaken. Not wrong in faith, wrong in assumption. And chosen one, before we go deeper, pause for a moment, hit subscribe, and comment Aman Aman if your spirit is already responding. Because this message is about to speak directly to you. This isn't a routine step, it's alignment, a signal that you're present, attentive, and willing to hear what heaven is clarifying right now. What you labeled as delay was never punishment. It was protection disguised as stillness. What felt like confusion was preparation happening beneath the surface, away from noise, away from pressure, away from premature movement. God wasn't slowing you down because you were behind. He was holding you back because you were ahead of schedule spiritually. You were about to move with incomplete understanding, and mercy stepped in. Chosen one, you've survived unseen battles. Moments when you held yourself together while everything inside felt uncertain. You stayed faithful even when clarity felt distant. That endurance matters. Heaven took note. This pause isn't denial, it's recalibration, like adjusting a lens so the picture becomes clear before the journey continues. God is not removing your calling, He's refining your perception of it. Light always exposes shadow before it reveals direction. And right now, light is revealing a truth you couldn't see before. Something is being corrected, not canceled. Something is being realigned, not taken away. And in the next moments, a hidden understanding is about to surface. One that will change how you interpret what happened and what happens next. Stay with me, chosen one, because this pause carries a revelation you were always meant to receive, right now. Chosen one, this pause you're experiencing is not accidental, and it is not a setback. It is intentional. Heaven does not interrupt without reason. When God slows life down, it's never to frustrate you. It's to protect your clarity. You were moving with sincerity, with faith, with effort, but direction without understanding can still lead to confusion. And God cares too deeply about your future to let you arrive somewhere with the wrong perception. Sometimes movement becomes dangerous when insight hasn't caught up with momentum. You can reach the right destination carrying the wrong beliefs, the wrong expectations, the wrong emotional posture, and that misalignment can quietly undo everything you worked for. So God pauses the path, not to stop you, but to realign you. Can you sense that this slowdown feels different than resistance? That it carries peace instead of pressure? Chosen one, if you had continued at the same speed, you might have interpreted the next chapter incorrectly. You might have forced meaning where patience was required. You might have reacted instead of received. This pause is mercy disguised as stillness. It's God stepping in to say, wait, let me clarify this before you move again. Because clarity is heavier than speed, and wisdom is more valuable than urgency. Notice how the pause didn't remove your desire. It didn't erase your calling. It didn't shut the door. It simply quieted the noise. That's intentional. God often reduces movement so your spirit can hear what motion drowns out. In stillness, light reveals shadows. In quiet, truth separates itself from assumption. Ask yourself honestly, what have you been assuming instead of understanding? This pause is also an invitation, not to doubt, but to observe, to investigate what you are carrying unconsciously, to examine motives, expectations, and interpretations. God isn't changing your destination. He's refining how you'll experience it. And that distinction matters more than you realize, because the right place reached the wrong way can still feel wrong. Chosen one, mercy doesn't always feel gentle in the moment. Sometimes it feels like delay, confusion, or interruption. But mercy always leaves peace behind once it settles. And if you look closely, you'll see that peace already forming. Your heart is less frantic, your thoughts are slowing, your awareness is sharpening. That is not loss, that is preparation. So don't fight the pause. Don't rush to escape it. Let it do its work. Because when God allows movement again, you won't just arrive, you'll understand. And understanding will protect what movement alone never could. Chosen one, this realization may feel humbling, but it is freeing. You did not misunderstand the promise. You misread the timing. Your faith wasn't flawed. Your vision wasn't false. You saw the destination clearly, long before it appeared in the natural world. But timing is the language of protection, and preparation is the space between vision and fulfillment. God wasn't delaying the promise, He was defending it. Faith often reveals where you're going before it explains how or when. You felt the certainty in your spirit, the calling, the outcome, the shift that was meant to happen. And because the vision felt real, you assumed the season was ready. But heaven moves with precision, not impulse. What looked like delay was actually calibration. God was aligning circumstances, strengthening foundations, and adjusting details you couldn't yet see. Isn't it interesting how clarity often arrives only after patience has been tested? You weren't wrong for expecting movement. Expectation is part of belief, but timing requires trust beyond expectation. God's calendar isn't driven by urgency, it's guided by sustainability. He knew that arriving too early could distort the outcome, place pressure on fragile growth, or invite confusion into something meant to bring peace. So He slowed the clock, not to frustrate you, but to shield what was forming. Chosen one, think about this. If the promise had arrived when you first expected it, would you have been able to protect it? Would the environment have supported it? Would your understanding have been complete? God doesn't just care about giving blessings. He cares about keeping them intact. That's why His timing often stretches patience, but secures longevity. This misreading of time doesn't disqualify you. It confirms your sensitivity. You sensed what was coming early because you were spiritually receptive. But preparation happens in layers, not moments. Faith can see the mountaintop, but the climb still matters. The strengthening, the discipline, the quiet adjustments, all of that had to take place before arrival could feel like peace instead of pressure. God's timing always protects the outcome, even when it challenges your patience. It ensures that when the promise manifests, it doesn't collapse under expectation. It ensures that joy isn't rushed, clarity isn't forced, and responsibility isn't overwhelming. Timing is not denial, it's design. So release the frustration of, why not then? And embrace the wisdom of, now I understand. You didn't miss your moment. You were being preserved for it. And as timing and understanding finally meet, you'll realize that nothing was wasted. Not the waiting, not the confusion, not even the impatience. It all served a purpose. Chosen one, what you felt as resistance was never heaven pushing you away. It was heaven standing in front of you. Those closed doors you replay in your mind weren't rejection. They were shields. God didn't deny you because you weren't worthy. He blocked you because you were valuable. And protection often feels uncomfortable because it interrupts desire before it interrupts damage. Think about how natural it is to confuse resistance with failure. When something looks good, feels right, or appears aligned with your hopes, a closed door can feel personal. It can make you question your discernment, your effort, even your worth. But God sees beyond appearance. He sees the full trajectory, the outcome, the weight, the cost that desire hadn't yet revealed. So He steps in early, quietly, firmly, to stop what would later wound you. Chosen one, God blocks what looks good now to prevent what would harm you later. That harm isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's burnout disguised as opportunity. Sometimes it's compromise disguised as progress. Sometimes it's attachment disguised as blessing. Protection doesn't shout. It closes doors without explanation. It interrupts momentum. It forces you to sit with disappointment before relief becomes visible. And that's why it's so easy to misunderstand. Have you noticed how the things you were most frustrated about losing are the very things you no longer crave once clarity arrives? That's not coincidence. That's protection revealing itself in hindsight. At the time, it felt like something was being taken from you. But in truth, something heavy was being kept off of you. God didn't remove your future. He removed a version of it that would have cost you your peace. Protection also challenges identity. It asks you to trust God's judgment over your own excitement. That's difficult. Desire wants movement now. Protection requires patience. And patience feels like resistance when your heart is ready to move. But chosen one, anything God truly intends for you will not require you to fight past his hand. What is meant for you will not need force. Closed doors aren't signs you're off track. Sometimes they're proof you're being guided more closely than you realize. God doesn't just lead by opening doors. He leads by closing the wrong ones at the exact moment they look most tempting. That's mercy, not misalignment. So if something didn't work out, if a path ended suddenly, if momentum was cut off without explanation, pause before labeling it loss. Ask yourself, what might I have been spared from? What pressure didn't reach me? What version of pain never got the chance to form? Chosen one, protection often arrives before understanding. But understanding always follows obedience. And as clarity continues to rise, you'll begin to see those closed doors not as disappointments, but as divine shields that preserved you for what's still ahead. Chosen one, hear this clearly and let it settle in your spirit. God is correcting the direction, not canceling the plan. Nothing about your calling has been revoked. Nothing you were shown has been taken away. What's happening now is precision, not rejection. Heaven is making a small adjustment because small corrections early prevent painful corrections later. This pause is proof of care, not change of heart. Correction often feels heavier than cancellation because it asks you to slow down and re-examine what you thought was settled. It challenges confidence without removing purpose. You are moving forward with sincerity, even courage, but direction matters as much as destination. God would rather pause you briefly than allow you to arrive confidently in the wrong place. Isn't it better to feel momentarily uncertain than permanently misaligned? Chosen one, think about how pilots adjust course mid-flight. The destination remains the same, but slight changes in angle protect the arrival. God works the same way with your life. A minor redirection now saves you from a major detour later, one that could have cost you time, peace, or identity. What feels like a setback is actually navigation happening in real time. This correction doesn't mean you misheard God, it means you heard him early. Revelation often comes before refinement. You receive the vision, but vision still requires interpretation. God refines understanding as you grow, not to confuse you, but to deepen your alignment. And alignment is what makes purpose sustainable. Without it, even the right path can feel heavy. Have you noticed that the pause didn't erase your passion? It didn't remove your desire. It simply slowed your steps. That's intentional. God isn't dismantling your dream. He's protecting it from being built on an angle that would eventually crack the foundation. Correction preserves integrity. It keeps your future intact. Sometimes the bravest thing isn't moving forward. It's stopping long enough to listen again. Correction asks for humility, not abandonment. It asks you to trust God's overview over your limited perspective. And chosen one, God sees the full map. He knows where pressure lies. He knows where temptation waits. He knows where clarity hasn't yet arrived. So he adjusts your direction while the cost is still small. Let go of the fear that this pause means never. It means not like this. It means let me guide this more closely. Cancellation removes hope. Correction refines it. And what God refines, he intends to fulfill. So breathe, release the panic, stay open. Because when movement resumes, and it will feel lighter, clearer, and more aligned than before. You're not starting over. You're being steered more accurately toward what was always meant for you. Chosen one, this is the moment where clarity begins, not with answers, but with humility. Not the kind of humility that shrinks you or silences your faith, but the kind that opens your hands and softens your heart. When you finally admit, "I don't see everything," heaven responds. Understanding doesn't force its way into a crowded, certain mind. It enters gently when pride steps aside and trust takes its place. There is a sacred honesty in saying, "God, I thought I understood this, but I'm willing to learn again." That posture doesn't weaken your faith, it strengthens it. Faith is not about always being right, it's about staying aligned. And alignment requires the humility to let God correct your perspective without feeling threatened. Have you noticed how the moment you stop defending your assumptions, peace begins to return? Clarity often arrives after surrender because surrender clears the noise. Pride speaks loudly, insisting on timelines, methods, and outcomes. Humility listens, and God speaks most clearly when the inner resistance quiets. Not because he was silent before, but because you can finally hear him now. The signal was always there. The interference has simply been removed. Chosen one, humility doesn't erase confidence. It purifies it. It removes the need to rush, to prove, to control. It allows wisdom to replace urgency. When you stop demanding immediate understanding, God begins revealing deeper truth, layer by layer, step by step, not to overwhelm you, but to steady you. Isn't it interesting how the clearest moments often come after we admit we were unsure? This is why clarity feels so gentle when it arrives. It doesn't crash into your life. It settles into it. It brings calm instead of chaos, certainty instead of pressure. You begin to see why certain doors closed, why timing shifted, why your path bent slightly, not as punishment, but as guidance. Humility unlocks vision because it makes room for divine perspective. And let this comfort you. Humility never delays destiny. It prepares you to carry it. God doesn't reveal the next step to impress you. He reveals it to protect you. When pride quiets, discernment sharpens. You stop asking, "Why isn't this happening?" and start asking, "What is God teaching me here?" That question changes everything. So chosen one, breathe and release the need to know it all right now. Let humility do its quiet work. Let God speak without interruption, because clarity is already on its way, not as a reward for striving, but as a gift to a heart willing to listen. Chosen one, this pause you're standing in is not empty space. It is sacred ground. It may feel quiet on the outside, but inwardly something precise is being formed. Stillness has a purpose. When noise fades and motion slows, discernment sharpens. You begin to hear what was drowned out by urgency. You begin to notice what pressure once concealed. Have you felt that subtle shift already? The way confusion is slowly giving way to calm awareness? In this pause, God is training your senses. Not just what you see, but how you see. Not just what you choose, but why you choose it. When everything is moving fast, decisions are often reactive. But when life slows, intention replaces impulse. This is where discernment is refined. Not in chaos, but in quiet. And once discernment sharpens, movement becomes powerful rather than frantic. You may have thought progress required constant motion, but some of the most important preparation happens when nothing seems to be happening at all. Roots grow in still soil. Vision clears when dust settles. God knows that if movement resumed too quickly, you might carry old patterns into a new season. So he pauses you, not to delay you, but to cleanse the momentum you're about to step into. Can you sense how different this waiting feels from past delays? When the pause lifts, you won't rush. You'll recognize the timing because peace will lead the way. There will be no panic, no second guessing, no forcing doors open. Certainty will guide your steps. Not loud certainty, steady certainty, the kind that doesn't need validation because it's anchored in alignment. You'll move not because you're tired of waiting, but because the moment is ripe. What's next will feel aligned instead of strained. Opportunities will meet preparation. Choices will feel clean instead of complicated. You'll notice that decisions come easier and resistance fades faster. This is the difference between striving and flowing. When God prepares you in stillness, action becomes graceful. Have you noticed how the thought of what's coming no longer fills you with anxiety, but with quiet readiness? Chosen one, this pause is not the end of motion, it's the refinement of it. When movement returns, it will carry wisdom, patience, and clarity. You won't need to hurry because you'll trust the direction. And when you step forward, it won't feel like guesswork. It will feel like recognition, like you've been here before, like this moment was waiting for you. So don't resist the stillness. Let it complete its work. What's next isn't uncertain. It's preparing to meet the version of you that this pause is shaping. Chosen one, let this settle deep within you. This pause is not a punishment. It is preparation wrapped in mercy. Nothing has gone wrong. Nothing has been taken from you. Heaven did not reject your faith, your prayers, or your obedience. You weren't wrong to believe. You weren't foolish to hope. You weren't imagining the promise. You were simply early. And being early doesn't mean being denied. It means God trusted you with the vision before the timing was ready. It means your spirit could see what your season had not yet caught up to. It means the pause exists to protect what belief unlocked. If it had arrived when you first asked, it might have overwhelmed you instead of blessing you. If it had come when you demanded, it might have solved a moment but damaged your future. So God slowed the clock, not to test your faith, but to mature it. Now something inside you is steadier. Your discernment is sharper. Your expectations are cleaner. Your heart is quieter, but stronger. And when movement resumes, it won't feel rushed, chaotic, or forced. It will feel right. It will feel aligned. It will feel like recognition instead of surprise. Hold your peace. The promise didn't disappear. It's approaching. At the exact moment it can finally stay.